bacon and a toast and a peanut butter cup.
It's like, who would ever think that like eating healthy would be a problem? But just, you know, there's a lot of issues with health in the US, and I think that in America especially, because maybe we don't have the best relationships with food, there's like an overfocus on poor health on the other end of the spectrum, and things like overeating and having unhealthy habits and chronic illnesses based on diet. And I think sometimes it's just the other side of it is ignored, or maybe just not, it's not as well known about because it's being disguised as like clean eating when it's totally an eating disorder. Orthorexia is the obsession with healthy eating, which I think when you hear the definition, and it's a newish term, it almost sounds like, what do you mean? Like, is that a bad thing? And it actually is, and it's a big problem for some people. What is such like a sacred ritual of humanity, and that's what eating is. I mean, food is so many things to so many people. It's social. Food goes back. In any culture, food is such a it's such a big thing, and it can get to a place, with the whole orthorexia conversation, where really you see it as solely like, does it have a health benefit or does it not? And kind of this like black and white, where you lose that joy of just whether it's sharing a cappuccino with a friend. It kind of all comes down to the relationship you have with food, and I think there's a spectrum there. When you're dealing with orthorexia, and really your brain is kind of plagued really a lot more often than it should be with thoughts about food and anxiety about making food choices, and to get to a place where maybe you don't go to a social event because you're worried that there won't be a healthy option. Stress is so inflammatory, and it's like this whole thing is about health, like this quest for health. But we forget that stress is more inflammatory than anything, and it's called the silent killer for a reason. There's this amazing video, I think it's called like Psychology of Eating, where they talk about eating ice cream and how your feelings surrounding the ice cream like affect how you metabolize it. So if you're eating ice cream, like, oh my God, I feel so fat, oh my God, like I can't eat this, like I hate, like if you're having crazy anxiety, you actually like digest it a lot more poorly and might feel discomfort, versus if you're like in the moment, it's a sunny day, it's like beautiful, you're eating Jenny's, you're bonding with a friend. Is the stress that, not eating this food causes me worth, like, is that worth it? Or should I just eat the frickin' Cheeto and move on with my life? Which obviously easier said than done, but I work with a lot of clients, especially younger female clients that, around college age that, just weren't aware that they were going through that until they actually thought about how they perceive food and healthy behaviors, and that they actually might not be so healthy when they're to that extreme. And extreme is really an important word there.